Have you ever had a moment where a woman casually touches your arm during a conversation? Maybe it was a brief touch, almost unnoticeable, or maybe it lingered just a little longer than expected. And for a second, you thought, was that intentional? Was there something more behind it? Most men don't realize that these small gestures, these brief moments of physical contact, carry a meaning far beyond what they assume. And today, we're going to break it down from both a psychological and a philosophical perspective, using something that has guided powerful men for centuries: Stoicism. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll not only understand why women do this, but you'll also gain a mindset that changes the way you see attraction, confidence, and social dynamics forever. The subtlety of touch is one of the oldest forms of communication. Long before we had words, we had touch. And today, it's still one of the most powerful ways we communicate interest, comfort, and connection. When a woman touches your arm, it's not random. It's a signal. It could mean several things. She's emphasizing a point in conversation. She's subconsciously testing the connection. She feels comfortable around you. She's expressing attraction. But here's the catch. Most men either completely overlook it or overanalyze it to death. They either brush it off like it was nothing, or they think, that's it, she's in love with me. Neither reaction is truly understanding the moment. The Stoic approach to social dynamics. Stoic man doesn't react impulsively. He observes. He understands human nature, but doesn't become enslaved by it. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What does that mean in this context? It means that when a woman touches your arm, don't jump to conclusions. Don't get lost in fantasy or overthink it. Instead, acknowledge it. Observe it. Stay present, in the moment. And here's where it gets interesting. When you stop reacting desperately to these small signals, women notice. Because the man who is not easily shaken, who is not seeking validation from every small interaction, naturally becomes more attractive. Confidence is non-reactive. Most men are either too timid or too eager. The timid man doesn't even notice the touch, or he brushes it off. The eager man immediately tries to escalate, thinking he has to act right away. The Stoic man? He remains centered. He enjoys the moment but doesn't cling to it. He is not impressed by validation because he already validates himself. And this is exactly why Stoic men tend to attract women effortlessly. When you don't seek external approval, you become the kind of person who naturally learns it. Touch isn't just about trust. It's about emotion. Think about it. When someone is comforting you, what do? They place a hand on your shoulder. They give a reassuring pat. It's the same with women in conversations. If she touches your arm during a deep or emotional moment, it's her way of saying, "I understand you." This kind of touch isn't about attraction. It's about connection. You'll notice this when she's being empathetic, when she's listening closely, or when she's supporting you in some way. It's a silent message. I hear you, and I'm here with you. But now let's get to what you really want to know. What if it's about attraction? The attraction test. Narrator, here's where things get interesting. Sometimes a touch isn't just friendly, it's a test. A woman might touch your arm to gauge your response. She's testing the chemistry. See, women don't always express interest verbally. Instead, they drop small, subtle signals to see if there's a spark. If she's touching your arm while holding strong eye contact, playing with her hair, or leaning in, chances are she's feeling some attraction. But here's where men mess up: overreacting. He doesn't get overly excited or misinterpret a simple gesture. Instead, he stays present, confident, and aware. When a woman touches your arm, don't immediately jump to conclusions. Does it feel natural? Does she seem engaged? Is she doing it repeatedly? Instead of chasing validation, a Stoic man understands that attraction isn't about reacting to every signal. It's about holding his own frame, When you stay calm and in control, you naturally become more attractive. And that's the real secret. Confidence in presence. The science behind touch and attraction. Narrator. Let's get scientific for a second. Touch releases oxytocin, a hormone linked to trust, bonding, and attraction. It's why a simple touch can make people feel more connected. In fact, studies show that brief physical contact during conversations makes people feel more positively toward each other, even if they don't realize why. Women understand this on an instinctual level. That's why they use touch to create emotional closeness, to signal interest, or even just to make interactions more engaging. So the next time a woman touches your arm, know that it's not random. It's psychology at work. What should you? Tell us some narrator. All right, so now you know the why, but what about the how? First, stay present. Don't overanalyze, but don't ignore it either. Second, pay attention to the context. Is she being playful? Serious? Flirtatious? Third, mirror energy, not desperation. If the moment feels right, subtle reciprocity can strengthen attraction, but never force it. Remember, true confidence isn't about chasing signals, it's about recognizing them, while maintaining your own inner stability. Final thoughts, narrator. So, what's the takeaway here? A woman touching your arm isn't always about attraction, but it's never meaningless. It could be a sign of trust, emotional connection, or a subtle attraction test. And the key isn't to react with overexcitement, but to observe, stay present, and understand the moment. Because in the end, the most attractive quality you can have isn't just knowing why women do this. It's being a man who's secure, confident, and in control of himself. And if this video opened your eyes, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more deep dives into psychology, relationships, and the wisdom of Stoicism. Until next time, stay aware, stay confident, and keep mastering the art of connection. Why women notice this difference. Women are highly attuned to social cues. They can sense when a man is desperate for approval versus when he is grounded in himself. Think about it. Have you ever seen a man who is just comfortable in his own skin? The kind of guy who doesn't rush, doesn't try too hard, and doesn't get flustered. That's the kind of man who naturally draws people in. When a woman does this, she's often testing, not in a manipulative way, but in a subconscious way. She's checking if you're the kind of man who gets thrown off balance easily. Do you overreact? Do you freeze? Or do you remain completely unbothered, continuing the conversation like a man who has been there before? When you understand this, you start to see the power of being centered, not just in attraction, but in life. Embodying Stoicism in everyday interactions. So how do you apply this? Simple. Observe. Don't react. Next time a woman touches your arm, don't flinch. Don't overthink. Just acknowledge it and continue. Naturally, stay in control of your emotions. Women respect men who are in control of themselves. If a simple touch throws you off, what does that say about your overall mindset? Be present, but unattached. Enjoy the interaction, but don't become fixated on it. The moment is just that, a moment. Scene transition. Return to the original setting with a warm, confident closing tone. Ever notice that people tend to touch those they feel comfortable with? That's because touch creates trust. It's a subconscious way of saying, I feel safe around you. When a woman lightly touches your arm during a conversation, it often means she sees you as someone approachable, someone she can relax around. It's the same reason friends hug, why handshakes exist. It reduces distance and builds connection. So if she touches your arm while laughing, telling a story, or reacting to something you said, it's a sign she's feeling good in your presence. Final thoughts. Stoicism teaches us that the world is full of distractions, and the strongest men are the ones who stay grounded. Attraction, like anything else, is a test of presence and self-control. So next time a woman touches your arm, remember this. It's not about the touch itself, it's about how you respond to it. Stay calm, stay centered, and most importantly, never let external events dictate your self-worth. Because the moment you master this, you've already won. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, true strength comes from within.